What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics. It is the beginning of a new month. We got PSA grading specials yesterday, and a tradition unlike any other, the monthly Gemrate data. Interesting month this month, as you know, I teased it in yesterday's video a little bit. The PSA numbers dropped a decent amount this month. 20% is no joke versus a previous month. Now, they still did over 1 million cards a month, which I believe Nat's stated goal is to do around 1 million cards a month. So they're still hitting that goal, even with a little bit of a slight decrease. So they're coming in, just kind of run these down real quick. PSA just over 1 million, down about 18%. SGC down about 7%. One thing to keep in mind there is I believe they still had the Bowman special going. So to see a drop while they are running a pretty decent special is a little concerning. CSG/CGC, we still don't have good CSG numbers. CGC on the Pikachus, they are up 20%, 19% to be exact, as the Charizards continue to roll on through. And then Beckett having a little bit of a bounce back month, back to 66K. A lot of that, we'll get to the breakdown on the individuals, is on the TCG side of things. Let's roll through these really quick and then give some thoughts. Sports, PSA down 17%, SGC down 5%, Beckett up 9%. We don't know CSG's numbers. And then on the TCG side, this was one of PSA's worst months in a while on TCG. And this is with them recently rolling out that $15. It's not really a special, it's just their permanent pricing tier for TCG. So interesting that would kind of dive off a little bit. I don't know if maybe that's just due to, maybe it was a bad month for releases. I don't know. I know we're about to get a new Pika Lizard release this month here in a couple days, actually. So maybe that will juice the numbers back up again, as Palladia Evolved, I believe, is coming out. I know the set names, the character names, I don't know. You got Charizards and Pikamons and all sorts of stuff, but Palladia Evolved, I believe, is the next Pokemon set that comes out here in a couple days. So maybe that'll give them a little bit of a boost back as we come off of what seems to be a pretty meh Scarlet and Violet reaction so far. Beckett up 33% in TCG as people chase those black labels and pristine 10s. That is the big reason why Beckett gets a lot of TCG action, is because TCG cards are just made, especially the Japanese ones, the QC is way better on them. And you actually have a legitimate shot for a BGS 10 and a black label on the TCG side. Sports card side, good luck. And then SGC, they dropped 20% in the TCG world. Remember, they ran a TCG special a couple months ago, and I believe have new permanent TCG pricing at a lower tier. But they continue to lose. I don't want to say lose market share, but just kind of not really do much in the TCG space at the moment. Let's filter through the rest of these really quick. Items graded by month. You can see PSA topped the last 2 months and have kind of reverted back to where they were in late 2022, early 2023. And then the other companies basically still kind of floating around the same, give or take, depending on the individual month. Those were the graded by categories. This was an interesting, the TCG graded by month by PSA. You could see May, a pretty off number there for the 2000s and newer stuff. And then I always like looking at the gem rates by era. PSA coming in at about 48.5%. That's about where they normally sit. A lot of people talk about, oh, you know, PSA is grading wild and crazy and they're inconsistent and this, that, and the other thing. Their gem rate percentage maintains about where it typically is. It fluctuates a percentage or a couple percentage points either way. But generally speaking, it usually sits in the high 40s, low 50s. That being said, I'm sure my 38 card order will now come back in at like a 15% gem rate or something wild like that. TCG obviously sits way higher at 66% because what we just talked about. Beckett coming in at 64%. Not surprising when you have that Min Gem 9.5. That allows you to slab more cards in the Gem Mint category. And then SGC coming in at 42%. A little bit tougher to get the actual Gem Mint grade because they have a 9.5 Mint Plus. Kind of siphons off some of those potential Gem Mint cards. CSG, we're not really sure what's going on. And CGC coming in at 62%. Very comparable to PSA's 66% on the TCG side of things. Let's go back to the top side here and just kind of chat for a couple minutes. So that's kind of where we sit in the current world of grading. PSA has rolled out their new special. The question is, does anyone respond? To me, the biggest one to potentially respond would be SGC. They have not really had much in a pricing change in quite a while, other than running out those random $9 specials here and there on Topps products and some TCG stuff. But they have consistently been sitting at the same price point for a while now. Do they want to push it? Do they want to go higher? Do they want a lot more cards in the door? Or are they content with what they're getting? Are they perfectly fine sitting between, the mid 80s and 100,000 a month? They may be. That might be like the perfect number for them, where they have just a little bit of backlog and they can fly through it and get it out the door on the other side and keep the party moving. I know that Peter does not like having cards laying around. I think he is really enjoying the get the cards in and get them back out quickly. That is their niche at the moment. That is SGC's niche. And besides vintage, obviously, is you send us the cards, we are going to grade them fairly accurately with good customer service and get them back in your hands as quickly as possible. PSA is if you're sending to us, you want to maximize value, maybe some set registry stuff, whatever the case might be. They're still going to sell for the most, and their turnaround times are decent enough. If you're getting an ultra modern bulk order through the doors in about a month's time period, that's pretty good. I haven't done an SGC order for a while. I believe they're sitting at about 10 to 14 days from what I have heard. If anyone has a recent SGC order turnaround time, feel free to fire it in down below. CSG, we don't really know what's going on with them on the sports card side of things. CGC, they basically continue to do what they're doing. They sit at basically that same number now for quite a while. Best slabs in the market, hands down. It's not even close. Cards pop in their slabs, both the CSG and the CGC side of things. Other labels are fine. I have no major gripe with either company's label, either the blue on the CGC side or the black and gold on the CSG side. Beckett, they did have a decent month, bouncing back a little bit after kind of a bad month last month. Here's the thing with Beckett. I'm going to keep saying it. I don't know what the use case is for them right now when we're still in limbo with them. The grading scale thing, came out at the mint. They said, hey, we're going to go back to the drawing board on that, and we will update you all. They updated about a week later saying, hey, we're going to keep looking at this and updates to come in the future. And it's been crickets since then. They did have a CEO switch, so maybe that is holding things up a little bit. Perhaps Kevin Isaacson wanted to kind of get in there and throw in his 2 cents. But it has to be hurting their submission intakes at the moment. It just has to be. It would be really hard to send them a card and it gets some version of a 9.5. And under the old scale, that was a Gem Mint 9.5. And then under the proposed scale, maybe it's a Mint Plus 9.5. Or maybe it's a Gem Mint 9.5 and there's a Gem Mint 10. Who knows? We don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they end up doing nothing. But I think it would behoove them if they come out and said, hey, we looked at this and we just decided we're not going to change anything at all. Or we are going to change and this is what we're doing. Maybe they're waiting for the national. I don't really know. Maybe Fanatics is getting ready to buy them and Fanatics said, hey, hold off. We'll make the decision on this. That's just me. I have no inside information on that. Just throwing it out there. But it just seems crazy to me they still have not figured out whatever it is that they want to do because it has to be hurting their intake. Beckett turnaround times seem okay-ish to running slightly over, just based off of what I've seen on the blowout forums. If someone has some recent experience with Beckett in regards to getting a submission back in a timely or untimely manner, please, as always, feel free to throw that in the comments down below. They're the biggest enigma at the moment, just because I don't know a lot of people that send to them, so I don't have any like real-world expertise on what their current turnaround times are. My PSA order, I mentioned it yesterday. I have checked it 5 times today. I still have 5 more to go to reach the minimum 10 PSA refreshes when you have an order there. It is still sitting in grading. They checked it in on May 12th, so it's been there for about 2 to 3 weeks now, and been in grading most of that time. I expect it to come out of grading pretty soon. They obviously announced that new special yesterday, $15, 90s and older, and not gonna lie, that seems to be popular. There was a lot of positive comments in the video yesterday, as of time of recording, because I'm recording this fairly shortly afterwards, about, hey, this is pretty good. I have stuff that I want to send in for this, or I need to renew my PSA club membership because of this special, or I am excited about this, or finally they have a special that I actually want to use. So that $15 price point, I think really what it comes down to here is the era, the 1990 all the way up to present day. That's a wide berth of cards. It's sports cards only, but that is a wide berth. There's a lot of 90s stuff people like to grade, plus all the ultra modern stuff and everything in between. They are probably going to do decently well with this special. It would be nice if the declared value was just a little bit higher, just to give a little bit of wiggle room there. But like I said, the $200 declared value, if I have a $300 or $400 card, I could guarantee you I am setting it at the $15 level, and I will let them upcharge me to $25. If they want to go through that rigmarole for the extra $10, more power to you. Now, if you're ignorant about it and send a $5,000 card in at the $15 level, then you get what you deserve. But if you send a $350 card, I feel like they let most of that stuff slide through. But do beware, you could potentially get upcharged for it. And that is, I always get this question. Upcharging is based off of what the card is worth after it is grading. So you are kind of taking a best guess on that one. That's always a question that I get every time we talk about declared value. So those are the Gemrate numbers. To me, the biggest thing that needs to happen in regards to pricing is it would be nice to see SGC come out and do a little something with the price, even if it was only a couple bucks off per card. I have to imagine that their intake's going to take a little bit of a hit on the backs of this PSA special. Maybe the thing is, now we're a month or basically a full 2 months away, a little less than 2 months away from the National at this point, and I have to imagine a lot of these companies have stuff brewing for that. Whether it be pricing specials, shakeups, new labels, new grading scales, whatever the case might be. And maybe that's what Beckett's waiting for, is to get closer to the National. Any of these companies are going to do anything significant like that, they're either going to announce right before the National or at the National. And you think if it was a significant shakeup, you'd want to do it before the National because of the on-site grading and all that stuff. That's another thing that we should see probably filtering in starting in early July, which is 1 month away. It's wild that we are in June already, but we should start to see what everyone's plans are for on-site grading at the National. I actually have some stuff I wouldn't mind potentially on-site grading at the National, so I will be interested to see what those specials or deals or pricing or whatever you want to call it rolls out for the National. So those are the Gemrate numbers for the month. An interesting month, the first kind of real down month that we've had in a hot minute. I'm sure there'll be a lot of doom and gloomers in the comments down below. Only time will tell if those people will end up being correct. But we will catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.